Hello and good morning. Let's take a look here. Well, we know that all of these first ones will be true and all of these last ones will be false. Now, the way I do it is I say true, true, false, and then I'm going to move this false in those positions. So now I'm going to say true, false, true, false, true, true. And it looks like I'm missing some here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm missing 3. My numbers are off a little bit. So we know that one of them is going to be false, false, true, false, true, false, and one more. I think it's true, false, false. And you can look in the book. That should be all 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I want you to try this one right here, and then we're going to go into the next section. So copy that down. This one is just dealing with P and Q. So put P and Q. And thankfully, there's only 4 possibilities. So true, 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 false, false, true, and false, false. Okay? Now you look at the pieces here. I see a not Q, so I'm going to put not Q, will be one of them. And then I see this whole parentheses, so P and not Q. Then I see this parentheses, P and Q. And then I see the whole thing here, which is not P and Q. Okay? And then finally your answer, which is all of that. Okay, that's the way you should have it set up. So let's take a look. So not Q. So it's going to be the opposite of this. So it's going to be false, true, false, true. Then it's going to be both of these, P and not Q. So both of them have to be true for this one. There's only one right here. So that one's going to be true and the rest are going to be false. This one is P and Q. So P and Q is these two and it's and, so it's got to be both. So the only one that's going to be true is this one. So it's going to be true and the rest are false. This one is not P and Q. So this is P and Q, so we're going to do the opposite. So this is going to be false. These are going to be true. And then finally the answer, I'm going to use the red marker. We're going to compare all of this with this one. And it's or, so all you need is one true. So the only thing that's going to fail here is this one with this false, false. So that one's false. This one has both true, and that's okay. One true, and that's okay. One true, and that's okay. And there it is. That's your answer, and that's how you do that. And that's what we've been working on, okay? Now let's move on to a new section. Copy down everything you see here. Okay, this is called a conditional. The conditional is an if, then statement. Circle those 2 words. The antecedent is the first part. It comes first. So I get a job or I get the job. Do not include the word if. If you include the word if, that's wrong. The consequence is I will get a new car. And if you include the word then, it will be wrong. So you have the antecedent. Antecedent comes first, and then the consequence. Okay? I'll give you another one. If I do not place a phone on the wall, then I will lose 5 points. Or more, depending. Okay, let's move on. There's a rule here, and I need you to know this. So copy this down right here. Okay, so if you have a conditional, where this first part is true, the antecedent, and this turns out to be false, that is the only way that this conditional will be false. All the other ones will be true. Memorize that. Okay, let's try this one. Copy that down. So 5 is greater than 3, that's true, but 9 is not equal to 4, that's false. So this whole statement, the whole thing is false by that rule I just gave you. Copy this one down, and let's try this one. Okay, so we have P and Q, so put P and Q. Now give me the 4. True, 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 false, false, true, false, false. Now go through the pieces, not P. Then you want to use this parentheses here, so it's going to be Q or not P. Okay, then you want to use this whole thing here, P and Q or not P. Okay, and once you do that, then you're going to go ahead and go to this answer here. Okay, and remember, the only way that this conditional is false is if this is true and this turns out to be false, then the whole thing is false. All right, so let's take a look. So not P, so instead of trues, you're going to put falses. Instead of falses, you're going to put trues. Okay, now let's go to Q and or not P. So either one of these, this one has 2 falses, so that's the only one that's going to be false. The rest of them are going to be true. Finally, we're going to compare this one with P, the first one. Okay, and this is and, so they both have to be true. The only one that both of them are true is the first one. So all the rest are false. Okay, so let's take a look. For the answer now, you're looking at this, which is this first part, and the only one that's true is this one. Okay? And then it says not P. Not P is this one. That's false. Remember what I said, if the first part is true and the second part is false, then that makes this false. All the other ones are true. That's just the way it is. You can check that one in the book. Today you have this work right here. Let's turn our attention now to college algebra. Okay, so find the center of the circle. Well, the center of the circle is opposite square root. So it's going to be 2 and negative 3. And the radius is the square root of 16, which is 4. So to graph it, you're going to go over 2, that's your x, and then down 3. And then from this point, you're going to go up 4, to the right 4, down, and over. And then you're going to draw your circle. There it is right there. All right, let's try this one right here. Copy that down. Well, we're going to clear the denominator, but to do that, you have to factor this. So this is going to be x2, x3. We want a plus and a minus. So the least common denominator, watch how I find it. I have 1x minus 2, none, and 1. The greatest is 1. I have 1x plus 3. I have no x plus 3's. I have 1. The greatest is 1. It's not how many you see. It's 1, 1. The greatest is 1. So we're going to multiply each of these by this. When you do that, the x minus 2 cancels, and you're left with x plus 1, or x plus 3. When you do this, The x plus 3 cancels. You have to distribute that 3. So it's going to be plus 3x minus 6. When you do this one, which was both of these, are going to cancel and you get equals 4. And then you combine like terms, which is 4x here and there. So it's going to be 4x. This right here is a negative 3, but when I move it to the other side, it becomes a plus 3. So I'm going to get 7. Remember, you always divide by the number with the variable here. So I'm going to get 7 over 4. And again, that one looks weird. So do some of us, including me. All right, so let's talk about today's work, x and y intercepts here. Okay, that was part of today's. To find the x-intercept, and this is your x, where it crosses the x, you let y equal 0. So x-intercept, let y be 0. Y-intercept, let x equal 0. Copy that down. What I want you to do, so here's x-intercept, you cover up the y, just get rid of it. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So the x-intercept is 3. This one, you cover up the y. I take that back. You cover up the x. And that one is going to be 12 divided by negative 5, whatever that is. That's going to be a negative 2 2/5. So you're going to go down 2, and 2/5 of another one is about right there. The real way you do that is you break it into 5 pieces. So you use 4 tick marks. So if you take this area here and you expand it so I can show you, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2/5 would be about right here. It's not halfway. It'd have to be 2.5 to be halfway. So your line looks like this. So what you need to do is remember this. To find the x, you cover the y. To find the y, you cover the x. All right, here's your assignment. Make sure you check your answers. Have a good morning.